And as many of you know, the Detroit Auto Show was last week, and Motor One was there doing some reporting and chatting with some executives, and they were able to get a few little comments out of CEO Tim Kuniskis, the RAM CEO, about various things, mid-sized RAM, and also the potential return of the V8 here. And so, when asked first off about a mid-sized RAM and the possibilities of that, he said, "I want a mid-sized truck so bad. Everything is more expensive. Trucks are way more expensive. Bread goes up, you still got to eat, right? Trucks go up, you start looking for alternatives. I used to have a price point alternative with the Ram Classic. I don't have that anymore." So he wouldn't give any details here about what he had in mind exactly for a mid-sized RAM. Lastly, just saying, wouldn't it be great if I had a mid-size that was an awesome, capable truck to fill in that gap? Yeah, I'd love to have one. So, and apparently he was smiling when he said that. So it sounds like he is up to something. Obviously, if he wants it this badly and he's the one running the show, he can probably make it happen, hopefully. This is something that obviously has been a huge gap in the Ram lineup for a long time. It's been kind of amazing that they've gone this long without a mid-sized truck, and there still seems to be nothing in sight in the immediate future. Maybe they'll surprise us with some, big surprise. There was, back whenever the UAW union contracts were coming out in 2023, there was discussion that the Belvidere plant could be building a new Ram there by like 2028 or something. So maybe it's just something that's, just going to take a long time to cook, but maybe that is something that is coming here, in about 3 years or so. We'll have to see. I also think, in the meantime, bridging the gap, partially even with a lower model that could kind of compete with Maverick and Santa Cruz would be the Rampage. The Rampage is in South America. Mexico currently looks a lot like a regular Ram, but gives you that lower price point, smaller size, and it is unibody. So, a lot of people would immediately disqualify it. But for those who, again, have no problems with Maverick, they sell, hundreds of thousands of Mavericks. Santa Cruz sells decently well too. I don't see any reason why this Ram Rampage shouldn't come to the States, considering, again, just the fact there is such a gap right now in the Ram lineup here. So we'll see what happens, but very interesting to get that little tidbit out of him. But then while Motor One was continuing to chat with Tim, they also asked him when the V8 is coming back to Ram, and he said he's not ruling it out, but there's a few hurdles that I'm really happy that he explained, because, so many people just assume, oh, well, this is so easy, why can't they bring this back? And things are always not as simple as they may seem. And so there's a lot of things that people are either forgetting about or just don't know about. And so the biggest one here is that the 2025 Ram 1500s, when they came out, they got a new electrical system. And that was a much more advanced, faster electrical system, allowed them to upgrade the infotainment stuff, allowed them to have more advanced driver assistance features and have the hands-free, driving that they're doing in those top Rams and stuff. That all required a new electrical system. And so that's the biggest problem as far as bringing the V8 back. So Tim says, number one, the Hemi was never designed to run in that truck on that electrical architecture. So that's a huge challenge. They shut down production on that particular Hemi, the e-Torque. There's supplier work because when you shut something down, suppliers shut down their assembly lines and they switch to something else. And this is something that I often talk about in my live streams and talk about here in the weekly updates many times where, people say, well, why can't you just bring this thing back? Why can't you just resurrect the Hellcat immediately? The second that, Trump got elected and the EPA looked like it was, on its deathbed, everyone was, oh, okay, let's bring back all these gas guzzlers. And it's like, you can't just turn on a dime. It takes years to get these suppliers tooled up and get all the plans laid out and stuff. And this is why car companies can't chase what an administration is doing. By the time they get switched over, then there's going to be another, president, another 4 years or whatever, and there's never that consistency. They can't chase whatever fad is happening in those, in that administration. And so, this is a good reminder from the top executive from Ram here, telling it to us straight, like this is the reason why they have to get this stuff tooled up. And so, even with loosening restrictions, this is why I keep telling people, don't expect to see all this stuff come back overnight, because it's a much harder process for stuff that has, gone out of production already, especially, or even stuff that is planned to go out of production. But he also added, even if you said, let's do it, we can't do it right away. I didn't say you can't do it. You can't do it right away. So thank you, Tim, for the transparency and the straightforwardness. This is why I missed whenever Tim retired last year. I really missed his candor and his honesty and just laying this stuff out, because a lot of other executives, they don't want to ever say, and everything's hush hush and smoke and mirrors. And he's like, look, like, here's what we're dealing with. So there's no BS here. It's just, sure, we could say yes, let's do the V8, and they could say that tomorrow, but then it's going to take a while to get it ramped back up. How long? I mean, he didn't say exactly how long. Maybe it is only several months. Maybe it is years. We'll have to see, but it sounds like it's something that clearly they've looked into, and, it's something that he's probably working on here. But now spread the word. This is why the V8 can't just be popped right back into the RAM, because it doesn't work with the electrical system. And this is why you can't just start churning out Hemis like there's no tomorrow, because those suppliers already were done with this motor. Now they're, okay, we're going to bring it back in, kick off whatever was on the assembly line for the next new thing they were going to build at that supplying plant. There's a lot of stuff, behind the scenes that people are just completely unaware of, and, just think it's so easy. It's not that easy. So thank you, Tim, for that clarification, and hopefully word gets around to all the people complaining about the Ram V8s.